So we all know the story of Elisa Lam. She was a 21-year-old Canadian student whose body was found in a water tank on the top of the Cecil Hotel. However, the mystery has never been solved. No one knows what happened to her. No one knows how she died. And as a result, a lot of speculation has been chucked around. A lot of people feel like she may have been murdered. A lot of people think it may have been suicide. A lot of people think it might actually be something a little bit more otherworldly. People think it might have been ghosts. People think it might have been pretty much anything. And as a result, it's never been solved. No one knows what happened to her. Nobody. But today, I'm here to just lay out the facts, lay out what happened, and just maybe give my personal opinion on the end. Who knows? So Elisa Lam, she was born of parents who emigrated from Hong Kong to Canada. She was born in 1991, and funnily enough, not much is known about her. Apart from a few details, which were she had a blog on Tumblr, she had a WordPress blog where she wrote down thoughts and feelings. She also struggled quite a lot with mental health. She suffered from bipolar disorder and was actually on multiple tablets to help combat it. She is quoted as saying on one of her blogs that she felt utterly directionless and utterly lost. She had no clue what she was doing with her life. She actually had to drop classes because of the fact that she was suffering so much from this disorder. And as a result, she was worried that she wouldn't be able to get into grade school. And she was under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. Not much is actually known about what she studied, at least I couldn't find anything. If you guys find something, please let me know, I'm actually really curious. When she first went to the hotel, she was in a room with multiple people, but they then said to them, they basically said to the hotel, can she get a separate room? Because she was exhibiting what's described as odd behaviour. It's not specified what the behaviour was, although the way she was acting before she died, we can kind of guess as to what it was. It was more than likely paranoia, acting incredibly weird. Probably also she was being incredibly sort of like delusional, probably acting like someone was out to get her, which is how she felt. More than likely how she felt before she died. She kept how bad her disorder was from her family and friends. She kept it completely under wraps. No one knew how severe it was. And as a result, whilst people say that she had never had any suicidal intentions or attempted suicide or even had any suicidal ideation at all, no one knows this for sure because no one knew how severe her disorder was. As far as we know, she might have tried to kill herself, she might not have, she might have considered it. It's not known. Now this is when everything gets a little bit weird. When her body was found, it was found inside of a tank on top of a hotel. The tank was locked, and the only way to get to the top of the hotel was either through a fire escape or through a locked door. The tank was suspended 4 feet above the ground on concrete blocks, and therefore it was borderline impossible for someone to get in there by herself. When they found her body, it was floating in the water. It had been there for a while, quite a while. I can't remember exactly how long, but it was floating there. Her clothes were next to it. They were just floating in the water next to it, along with her watch, her room key, and all of her items were covered in what was almost like sand, but it wasn't sand, it was a particle that was similar to sand. Now, after her body was found, elevator footage from the hotel was leaked. It showed her acting incredibly bizarrely in the lift. She was poking her head out, pushing out, looking around the doors. She was glancing everywhere, utterly terrified. She was hiding in the lift. She stepped out of the lift to look outside the doors and then ran back in the lift, hid around the corner from. It was almost like she was being pursued. or something was following her. No one knows what. It could have just been paranoid delusion. It could have been anything. But it has never been stated what it was. No one knows. Now, personally, what do I think happened? Well, I think, while it is mysterious, it can be explained easily. It was a young girl who was suffering from a mental disorder that may or may not have been properly treated due to the fact that she never mentioned how severe her disorder was. And as a result, personally what I think is it might have just been everything got too much for her. And she started to have delusions. She started to get incredibly paranoid. Which then led to her killing herself, essentially. It's been stated before that not all of the water tanks were locked. And as far as we know, she could have easily... We don't know what she was like. We don't know if she was any good at, climbing things. Because she might have been, and therefore it could easily be explained that she could have climbed up the concrete steps, got on top of the water tank, moved the lid, gotten into the water as an attempt on her own life, and as a result, maybe they came to check the tanks first thing in the morning, realised that one of the lids was slightly off, and then they pushed it back. But because her body was found days after, it might have even been weeks after, I can't remember off the top of my head, then they might not have remembered which tank she was in, which tank was moved, and therefore it might have been one of the ones that was unlocked. Now, I will say this isn't definitely what happened. This is just my personal take on this. Yes, I do believe in the paranormal. Yes, I do believe in things like that. Yes, I do believe there could have been something mysterious about it. But if you want to just lay out the facts of the case, all in all, it just looks like a case of a young girl who was struggling with life, and she just wanted to end it. She just couldn't take it anymore. And whilst I think that's what happened, I am more than welcome to listen to you guys, and you guys are more than welcome to tell me what you think happened. Feel free to. I would love to hear what you think. Thanks for listening.